Are you in the market for a four-wheel unit with slightly larger tires and an amazing turning radius? Stay tuned to this video. Hey, I'm Alex from Marc's Mobility, and in this video we're going to show you the updated version of the GoGo Sport four-wheel unit. This is still the SKU S74, but they did put easy turn technology on this, which does drop the turning radius by 9 inches. So if you are interested in the scooter, stay tuned to this video. We're going to go over all the different features and specs on this particular unit. And before we get started, if you would go to the bottom, we will have a like and subscribe button if you'll hit both of those. And then there will be links with to this product right to our website so you can see current up-to-date prices right like in the description below. So now to get started, this is the GoGo Sport four-wheel. Now this is going to be very, very similar to what they've had before. They did not come out with a different product. They just enhanced the product that was already out on the market. So it's the same SKU number. It is going to look the same. A lot of the specs are going to be the same, but there is a few major differences between this product just released today onto the market by Pride Mobility as compared to the GoGo Sport that's been out for 5+ years. The major difference, what you're going to see, is going to be the turning radius. So now Pride Mobility did put the easy turn technology, which they're trying to implement on a lot of their scooters, on this particular unit. Basically what that does is that allows your wheels to almost turn completely sideways. So now you're starting to get into four-wheel scooters that are going to have stability of the four-wheel, but a turning radius of what most traditional three-wheel scooters turned in. So for example, the GoGo Sport four-wheel unit prior to this easy turn technology version had a 50.5 inch turning radius. Now we're able to, with the easy turn technology, get this down to 41.5. So you're shaving off 9 inches of turning radius, which is significant on a scooter. Now this particular unit, if you're not familiar with the GoGo Sport, is going to have a 325-pound weight capacity. It is going to come standard with your larger battery pack. Some of the smaller, other different units from GoGo have different battery pack options, but on the GoGo Sport, it automatically comes with the larger 18-amp batteries. With that 18-amp batteries, it's going to get you up to 12 miles of total drive distance. If you've watched any of my videos before, you will know that I always mention now that 12 miles is in ideal conditions. I typically like to scale it down and say maybe somewhere in that 9 to 10 mile range, because that's probably a more true indication of how far you're going to go. Because just like in a vehicle, you're going to have highway miles versus city miles. So most people are going to be driving this in what I would call city for a vehicle, where you're going to be stopping and going. And that is going to take more of your battery every time you stop and go, because your electromagnetic brakes are going to take a little bit more drain off of the batteries. Now the GoGo Sport is a little bit of a bigger unit. Yes, it has the 325-pound capacity, but it also is going to come with 3-inch wide by 9-inch tall tires. So that is going to be the same size tires all the way around. So you can see they are just going to be bigger than some of their other GoGo models. Let's say like a Elite Traveler 2 or the Endurance or different units. These are going to be some of the larger tires on their GoGo models. So that is going to make you sit a little bit higher off the ground, and going to get a little bit better traction if you're going through some different type of softer surfaces. I would not recommend this going through sand, or you're not going to go on the beach with it or anything crazy, but just navigating around your yard, or if you're on sidewalks that you might have to go into some unpaved areas, this would perform better than something with a really small, skinny, maybe 2-inch size tire. Now the unit is going to only come with one seat option as well. They list the seat option. They say 17.5 by 16 is what I'm measuring. 17.5 wide by 16 inches deep. Now the armrests, like on all scooters, are going to flip up, so you are able to enter the unit from either side. And then pretty much all Pride products that sit on a single post are going to have a swivel seat. So you are able to swivel the seat to the side. That is useful for some people to then be able to sit on the unit like so, and then be able to swivel like this to get back on to the unit. So the swivel seat is great. You can also swivel this all the way around. So if you wanted to back up to a table or however else you want to utilize this, you do have the ability to swivel that seat all the way around. And it does lock every 45 degrees if you don't have the handle held. So it does have an automatic lock. You don't have to re-engage it on the particular unit. Now, what they did a little bit different on this unit to be able to have that easy turn technology, the rear is only about 21 inches across in the rear, but the front tires, they did space them out a little bit farther in the front. It is going to give you that stability, but then it also gives you the clearance to be able to turn the wheels really sharp. So the front is going to be your widest point on the unit at about 22.25 inches wide. Now, I say that's the widest point on the unit. Obviously, your armrests on most things are going to be your widest point outside of the wheelbase. So even this with your armrest tucked in, you're at 23 inches in overall width. The reason why I mention that is some people that want to go on cruise ships that don't have a handicap room only have a 22-inch door clearance. That is a little bit over 22 inches, the front outside wheel to outside wheel. So this unit would not be able to go through a cruise ship door at 22 inches. You'd have to take it apart, turn it sideways to get it through that door. Obviously, if it was a handicap room, not a problem at all. Like I said, 23 inches is outside of armrest when they're tucked in, but you do have knobs in the back of the unit that I could show you that are right here and right here. If you loosen those up, those armrests are able to slide in and out away from the unit to give you more room, because with the armrest pushed all the way in, you're about 18.5 inches in between the armrests. And having a 325-pound weight capacity, well, somebody that's higher up in that weight capacity would need more room. So once again, you can move the armrest out to get more space. The seat does fold down easily and then comes back up. You do have a small pouch back here in the back that you could probably put your charger or a few other small accessories. In the back of the unit, you are like on all Pride devices. This one just got shipped to us, so this is what they come with, is a piece of cardboard covering your rear docking device. So you will see on our website, if you click on the link below, you'll see the different accessories that you're able to put in the back, whether it's a walker holder, a rear basket, an oxygen tank holder, a cane holder. You can get cup holders for the unit, rear view mirrors, cell phone holders. So there's many accessories. Like I said, if you do go to the link below in the description, you'll see them, what is available, and the pricing directly on our website. Now, this unit does come apart very easily in a few pieces, and the heaviest piece is under 36 pounds. It's about 35.5 pounds is the front section. And then I can basically go through and kind of demonstrate that now. It is pretty easy to take the unit apart. I'm going to turn it sideways so you have a little bit better visibility when I do that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the key off, just to turn your power off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the rear basket off. Now, you have a little tab right here behind the rear basket. You're going to push the tab in and you're going to lift your rear basket off. Next step you would do is you're going to push the seat down forward, and then you're going to stand over the seat, and you want to lift straight up on the seat. If I had to guess, this is about 18 to 20 pounds. The seat is not anything crazy heavy. You can set this on the ground. Now from here, you're going to have your battery pack. Your battery pack does have a little bit of Velcro underneath it, so when they're brand new, it is going to have a little bit of resistance to get through the Velcro. And then you're going to have your battery pack. Once again, that's somewhere in that 20-pound range as well. Now you have your front and your rear section. So what you're going to do from here is you have this knob which has interlocking teeth. So you're going to loosen this knob up and you're going to lower this down. Now you want to hold on to this, and you don't want to just smash this down here onto your battery connecting ports. So once you have it down at an angle that's not touching, you can go ahead and lock the tiller back in. And then from here, the next step that I recommend people doing, because you can see how the steering wheel still turns. In the front of the unit here, you have this oval shaped knob. If you push that in and turn the knob, basically it locks the wheel from turning any more than what you see right here. And then the last step that you would do is you're going to take this handle and you're going to lift this up and walk the front section away. So this is going to be your heaviest piece here at just under 36 pounds. You can grab it around the seat post and you can grab it around the front tiller here, but this is going to be your heaviest piece. So section wise, this is what you're going to need to put into your vehicle. This would fit in most types of vehicles as well. So the only one you're going to have a little bit, if it's a really small car with a small trunk, potentially then you might have an issue, but most vehicles this would fit in there with no problem at all. Now to put the unit back together, you are going to have two U-shaped, upside down U-shaped brackets, and they have actually a green piece of tape in the front and the rear section. All you're going to have to do is line that up, and once it's lined up, you don't have to force it. The unit will snap back together. I've had people before that don't line it up right and they try to step on it and they ended up breaking something. So if it's not lined up straight, it will not snap up back together, and don't force it. It will go back together very easily. And then you're just going to do all the steps and reverse. You can go ahead and you can unlock the front wheel. So now you can move your tiller, loosen up the tiller adjustment here, raise that back up to the desired height, and then lock this back in. Then you'll take your battery pack here, put your battery pack back on, it just drops in place. And then your seat, drop your seat back on, and then you're going to add your rear basket back to the unit. Now I do want to mention to you that this unit does come and it does ship in red. And then let me line up the front basket here. It does going to come in red, but you also do get blue shrouds with the unit. That's not any additional cost. You are going to get a blue color with this as well. And they're very easy to change out. So if you want to make your unit blue, it does come with the blue as well. Now, what is also nice about most portable scooters is this battery pack, how I showed you how you take it apart. You are able to take the battery pack inside, because right here on the battery pack underneath this plastic tab is going to be a charging port right here. So if you did want to only bring the battery pack inside and charge it, you can. When the unit is fully assembled, you're going to have a charging port right here that you can plug it into, or you can plug it in here, but this battery pack, the port down here, is more useful when you have it off of the unit and you still want to be able to charge your batteries and leave the rest of the scooter inside your vehicle. Now the GoGo Sport does come with the front headlight. There's a switch over here on the left-hand side, and then this is adjustable up and down the pitch of the angle of that front headlight. Up here on the handlebars, it's a nice Delta tiller. It is going to have just a color display that's going to show you your approximate distance. Now you have 10 lights on this display. So just for reference, when I say 9 to 10 miles roughly on a charge, I know they say up to 12, I scale it down, but that way it kind of represent about a mile per light. So that way you kind of know your total overall distance that you have remaining left based on the amount of lights that you have on the unit. Now the unit does come with a horn. It's nothing that's impressive of a horn, but that is something that does have to happen. Every scooter does have to have a horn on it, probably for some type of regulation in the industry. Now, when you are assembling one of these, which we do have an unboxing video that we'll also put down in the link below, when you are assembling one of these, the seat post height does have a few different inches, two different height adjustments on there. We put it in the higher seat adjustment height. So I'm going to give you that measurement with the higher seat adjustment height. And that's going to be at about 23 inches from the top of the seat to the ground. And then from the floorboard to the top of the seat's about 18 inches. Now do remember, those can be probably lowered by about an inch if you were to put the seat post down in a lower position. But that 23 is about as high as you're going to be seat to ground height. And then that 18 inches floorboard to seat height is the higher. Once again, you can shave an inch off of that by adjusting the seat post at different heights. Overall usable floorboard space, you're about 16 inches wide. And then the floorboard space, you have about 13 inches of usable space. So I'll drive this outside here shortly and I'll show you. I wear a size 12 shoe. I'm 6 foot, about 220 pounds. So you can get kind of a reference of what I look like sitting on this particular unit. But if you are looking for a unit that is going to have larger tires, a little bit higher weight capacity, a little bit farther distance, a little bit faster speed at 4.7 miles an hour, most scooters are going to be somewhere in that 3.7 mile range. So the 4.7 miles an hour is going to be a nice feature on this unit. Then I think this would be a really great unit for you, because it's only going to have a 41.5 inch turning radius and still the heaviest piece under 36 pounds. So there's not a lot of other things on the market that kind of encompass what this particular scooter does. So if you would go ahead and follow us outside, I'll do a little driving demonstration on this unit here. So this is the GoGo Sport. This is the S74, the upgraded version with the easy turn technology. This just got released on the market today. Basically what made this difference over the one that was prior to this is they shaved off 9 inches of turning radius by allowing the wheels to be a little bit wider and then having that easy turn technology. So you can see here on a 4-wheel scooter of this size, that is an amazing turning radius. That is very, very small turning radius while still having a 325 pound weight capacity. and going up to 4.7 miles per hour. I'm 6 foot tall, 220 pounds. I wear a size 12 shoe just to kind of give you reference of what my legs look like. Obviously, yes, you can kick your feet up here. You do have the tiller adjustment right here, so you can bring that closer to you, but there's no height adjustment. It does come with a headlight on the unit as well, a front basket, and then there's many rear accessories that you can get on the back of the unit. The ground clearance at the lowest point is 1.5 inches, so I want to mention that. A lot of manufacturers like to finagle that number and list like the higher ground clearance point, like under the deck, which is closer to 3 inches. But Pride is one of the best companies out there, so they do like to mention what the lowest ground height clearance is, and that is 1.5 inches at the rear transaxle. So if you are trying to compare one company to another and you're seeing different specs, I would always double check, okay, well, what is that ground clearance at the motor? Because a lot of companies don't like to list that because it is lower than the deck height, but that is your most important portion for ground clearance because it's going to be your lowest clearance on any particular unit. So if you're looking for a great unit, I think the GoGo Sport really encompasses the larger battery pack, so you get a farther distance with the higher speed, the larger tires. I'm going to go ahead over here in the grass just to see how it performs with a little bit wider tires. We have some St. Augustine grass, but it hasn't rained here in a while in Florida, so if you have St. Augustine grass and it's summertime and it's really thick and it's kind of wet and mushy, I would not recommend doing this, but I just want to kind of give you a reference on drier type surfaces. Whether you want to go baseball fields, soccer fields, things like that, I don't think you're going to have any issue with it. So I'm going to go ahead and drive it over here now. So stay tuned to see what that looks like. All right, so this is kind of where we take some of our little beefier scooters at through this type of grass. I just want to show you, it does have the ability to go through different surfaces, because sometimes we get people that say, well, hey, I need to go through my yard temporarily to get to my mailbox. It's always hard when you're selling online because you're trying to you don't know what their grass or what their surface is going to look like. So that's why I want to kind of give an indication that you can see here it's a little bit thicker grass. It's not a hard compact surface, and it was still able to go through that easily. I do want to mention that when you are driving the unit and you do turn the wheels all the way sideways, it does reduce your speed some. Now, if you were to drive all the way forward and yank your wheel, it's going to take a second for that to kick in. But if you do go to make that turn, it does reduce the speed just to give it overall more stability on the unit. But you can see that is crazy, 40.5 inch turning radius or 41.5 inch turning radius on a 4-wheel scooter. So if you're interested in something like this, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to speak with you.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.